The Four Stooges, isn't it? The old Four Stooges. Let's have a look at this. God, don't put me anywhere near their heads. Especially that cunt. Pardon me, French. Here we go.
Asked Justice Minister Helen McEntee why it was that last year Ireland issued 188 transfer decisions to send asylum seekers back to another EU state, and yet only 3 of that 188 were actually transferred, despite the other EU states accepting responsibility for taking that person back in all cases.
Minister, you said earlier that the new take-back mechanism would be better, that it wasn't open to...
I made a video on this earlier this morning, but there's another thing she does here, and someone in my comments said it, but I'll stop it when it comes to
other countries to frustrate it. In 2023, your department issued 188 transfer decisions. That means 188 cases where another country said, yes, we're responsible for processing this person, and yes, we'll take them back. Of the 188, you transferred 3. Can you explain that?
I suppose this just shows the inefficiency of the Dublin 3 system.
No, but it shows the inefficiency of your department. Another country said they'd take them back and accepted they would take them back and had responsibility. Your department is transferred 3. Where's the problem?
No, we can only issue a take-back request. So it is then for those
no, but a
countries
decision, the other country accepted responsibility, accepted they would take them back. A decision was made to transfer them, and you transferred 3 of those 188. Where's the problem?
Again, it's my understanding that it was not within, and again, without having seen the details of them, but if it's not within the time frame, even...
Yeah, watch this. I do this now and again because it shows you, so slow the videos down, right, at key moments. If you think you see them do something, slow the video down, right? I'll go to 0.5 speed. Here we go.
Even if there's...
Why did you run out of time? If 6 months.
If the other country frustrates...
No, they didn't frustrate. They accepted they were taking them back.
There. See it? Y'all see it? They can't contain the old duper's delight. They just can't help it. Proper narcissists. They can't help it. It's like a child trying to express itself. They just can't contain it, you know.
So what's the problem in your department in implementing this Dublin 3 regulation?
But yeah, just do that now and again. Slow it down. Sorry if it was a bit annoying. I know it can be a bit annoying, but here we go. Continue.
So if you can show me that they were accepted within the 6-month time frame...
Oh, they were.
If you can show that to me.
She's like them crazy lefties. You know when you say something to them and they always turn around and go, source, give me source first. Them people, yeah. That's exactly what Helen's like. Monkey see, monkey do.
So again,
you can't issue a transfer decision without another country accepting responsibility, so that was done.
And yet when McNamara asked the minister why this was the case, she didn't really have an answer. So as Taoiseach and former Justice Minister yourself, do you have an answer to that question?
So I haven't seen the committee truthfully, but I will look back.
I haven't seen the video. Simple, Simon, I'm sure you've seen the video. And you've been what's the word when they bring soldiers back in from military service or something? And when they take notes off them. Something. I just can't think of it at the moment. But that's exactly what I see. This guy, man, another bleeding guy that was bullied when he was younger, and now he's taken out on the country, you know? And that's slime ball next to him. Look at, does he think he's a hard man, this fella? Like that, all of them. Oh, weasels.
At that exchange, I think it may have been the day of the Stardust apology, but certainly I haven't had an opportunity to see that yet.
Oh, well, yeah, bring up the old Stardust just to, like, you know why he's doing that as well. Diversion. Bring it up. Make it look like you care. These people, man, they're just actors. Bad actors.
I will look back in relation to that. But what I can say, Ben, and I definitely know this to be the case, and I know this to be the case from engagements at European level too, I don't accept that current processes in terms of Dublin Declaration and the likes work in the way they were intended to. I think Deputy McNamara, if what you say is true, which I'm not doubting, raises.
Well, just make sure I'll get in that I don't doubt McEntee. I know I said I might doubt her, but I don't really doubt her.
A significant and important issue. We will want to obviously provide clarification in relation to that. I think that's important that we do that when members of the Oireachtas raise questions, and I'm sure the Department of Justice and the Minister for Justice will write to the committee in relation to that. I think that would be helpful. But I can absolutely say this: there's going to be a lot of debate about the EU Migration Pact. There should be. I think it's right and proper that the government decided this week not to rush this into the Dáil next week. The Justice Committee asked for more time. The Justice Committee asked to have the space to bring in witnesses, to hear from people. That's a good thing. We then go into the Dáil, the Shanid. I think it should be given.
They're not going to stop. They're just going to keep pushing ahead. They gave us the little victories here and there, but with this EU pact, they're just going to push ahead, because then they fall under then the legislation that's happening around the rest of the EU. So then once they've signed off on this, they're signing Ireland over to this. They're signing Ireland over to this, the Republic of Ireland over to this.
Plenty of time in there. The government wants to opt into the EU Migration Pact. You and I may have a different view on this, but we do. I very much do. I don't believe this country can go it alone. But
you see, he thinks, because he is the government, he thinks it's good for Ireland. But what he thinks isn't necessarily gospel, is it? Like, they should be putting this should be put to the world, this should be put to the entirety of Ireland. Have a vote on this, because what you're doing here is opening a can of worms. He's trying to open the door, so then you think it's bad what they have coming in now. It's got to be 3-4 times that. If this clown is still in there.
But I do also think that it's important that we provide plenty of time for proper scrutiny and teasing through of the issues. And that's certainly what I'm going to facilitate as Taoiseach.
Specifically, one of the points that Deputy McNamara raised was he said that because the Department of Justice was failing to transfer people, even when other states agreed. So this isn't that the other state is stymieing or stalling the process. They're saying, yes, we take responsibility for this person, we'll take them back. And yet only 3 out of 188 were actually sent back last year. He says that this shows that the time periods being set by the EU Migration Pact that are much shorter, the faster processing times that you're talking about, will not actually be achievable if we can't even implement the rules and regulations that we have now. That was his argument.
Well, what I can definitely agree with is the latter part. I mean, what I can absolutely definitely agree with, whether the Irish Department of Justice or any interior or Department of Justice across the European Union, it is going to require a massive step change in terms of resourcing, in terms of capacity to deliver those processing times. Now, that is why this comes in from 2026. We're talking about this in 2024.
See, the way he just said that it comes into effect in 2026, is that what he said? And then this guy just stares at him like, are you supposed to say that? So he's already telling you, by 2026, this will be implemented. Don't worry about it. Hell yeah. The ones that were bullied in school.
It's one of the reasons Ireland made a decision to indicate our wish to opt in early, so that we can provide the time for both the legislation and the system. So I do agree on this much. I do agree that there is going to need to be, not just in Ireland, but right across the European Union, very, very significant increase in resourcing and capacity in processing. Because I think the people of this country, I think they're very fair. I think the people of this country are very humane. I think the people of this country see the benefit of immigration. People of this country also like a bit of common sense. People of this country also want to know that.
Well, yeah, that's true, Simon. We do like common sense. What part of the common sense, what part of what's happening is the common sense part, is what I'm trying to ask, you know? What part of letting Ireland be flooded with 140,000, good majority, 80%, 90% of them being males in their 30s? What's the common sense part of that, of bringing that in? And if his forced response, or people watching this, if your forced response to that is, well, they're coming over to work, aren't they? No, they're not. They're not. A good majority of them are not working. They're just hanging outside hotels, drinking and smoking weed. That's all they do. And they get their electric scooters and their electric bikes charged up. they get bed and breakfast, they get spending money, i.e. the dole, to just go out and do what they want for the day. So what's the common sense part of that? Simple, Simon.